A patch of dirt is often dismissed as empty space, a basic biological medium where roots anchor and stems emerge. Looking closer reveals that this dark, rich soil is an artist's palette, holding massive, latent creative potential. When a gardener plants seeds, they are performing a direct act of creation, placing precise brushstrokes onto a wide-open canvas. Anticipating the spring bloom means setting up the composition and waiting for nature to apply its brilliant hues to a pre-planned masterpiece. To understand this environment as art, we use the specific language of the studio. A canvas is the surface awaiting the image, while a palette is the board where a painter organizes their colors. In this illustration, a neat grid of isolated colors sits alongside artist brushes. These isolated colors map directly onto the sprawling elements of the garden landscape. The distinct yellows, blues, and greens in the grid become the vibrant leaves and petals. Viewing the outdoors through these concepts, palette, canvas, and hue, reveals the visual structure of the landscape. A daytime garden is not a single wash of unvaried green. Its entire visual impact depends on sharp, intentional contrasts. The light, graceful greenery of tamarind trees sits against the deep, heavy green of mango clumps. Gray palm tree trunks rise between the foliage like architectural pillars that frame the entire composition. As the sun moves, it creates a rush of textures and shades, with shadows retreating and intense colors clashing against each other. Sunlight paints the landscape like a physical brush, creating the depth that defines the scene. The most extreme artistic contrasts can push beyond what we see, blurring the lines between our human senses. Consider the sudden appearance of a bright red seamole tree leaning over the edge of a hidden pool. This illustrates synesthesia. Dutt compares this aggressive splash of red directly to the loud, startling blast of a brass trumpet. That piercing visual element sits entirely at odds with the grounding, still nature of the dark water below it. A masterfully designed garden proves that nature can shout, using bold colors as effectively as a composer utilizing a brass section. As the harsh sunlight fades and the daytime contrasts dissolve, the night shadows create a new, blank canvas. The moon takes over as the sole light source. It acts like a theatrical spotlight, peering through narrow gaps in the eastern bamboo ranges. Deep within the garden, a single white lotus flower catches the bright beam, creating a moment of intense focus. Under this illumination, the lotus stops appearing as a simple biological flower and takes on the look of an ethereal, glowing cup of silver. Nighttime avoids obscuring the art by stripping away daylight's visual noise, revealing the garden's most delicate masterpiece. Standing before this scale of natural artistry, the analytical perspective of the observer fades into a state of passive surrender. It brings on a state of being drunken with beauty. Faced with such overwhelming aesthetic perfection, yielding to the image is the only logical response. This is the experience of a primeval Eden, the realization that this wild, untamed beauty entirely outpaces human design. By approaching the garden as a chronological canvas, the observer moves past simple biological survey and becomes a witness to a persistent, living masterpiece.